Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Let's face it, running a small business is a roller coaster of emotions. The reality is there's no way to completely avoid the chaos. But the people, processes, and systems you built into your business can be the difference between thriving and sinking.
Yeah.
If you're a business owner or entrepreneur feeling the chaos creep into every area of your life, you need the Organized Chaos Podcast, hosted by Trainio founder and CEO Chris Ronzio. You don't need another podcast with thought leadership fluff. You want practical entrepreneurial advice that can help you build a better business today and get back time to do more of the things you love. You see, every weekday, Chris shares bite-sized topical episodes on small business leadership, people management, productivity hacks, and entrepreneurship. And it doesn't stop there. On Fridays, they feature exclusive interviews with today's top founders, authors, and the leader in the space. Names like Sam Parr, the founder and CEO of The Hustle, the author of Scaling Up, Vern Harnish, and Shark Tank host, Damon John. Join the thousands of monthly listeners learning how to organize the chaos in their business. Available to stream on all podcast apps or click the link in the show notes.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
All right, welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person, talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch TV, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us at techtimeradio.com. Tweet us during the show at hashtag TechTimeRadio, and we'll do our best to respond to your tweets. You can also check out our new TikTok channel by looking for TechTime Radio on the TikTok app. Get our interns' shorts and full video recaps of the show at techtimeradio.com. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise, working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. My co-host here, Mike Roday, is an award-winning author. Originally from Arizona, he is a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike helps me keep from geeking out while providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We are two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time Radio, Twitter former security chief has accused the company of lying to Elon Musk.
Oh.
We got an Elon Musk saga. Man, this guy is made for technology news hero. This guy is doing so much in today's top stories. I thank him for just existing and deciding to cause controversy across the technology spectrum there.
Okay.
Okay, you know.
I know he's one of your favorites.
Well, you know what? He's one of my favorites.
Your favorite.
Because he gets in so much trouble and he just kind of states his mind and really never thinks about what he's saying when he actually talks. Kind of reminds me of a former president or somebody that maybe would have had it. Yeah, well, kind of a little bit. But he just kind of speaks his mind, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. We're also going to talk about Sony. The PlayStation VR2 is coming out. But when? Now, this is very interesting because Sony is going to try to compete with Meta in the space of virtual reality. So in our virtual reality spectrum, you got Meta with Zuckerberg trying to do everything he can for virtual reality. Yeah. You got Apple that's coming on out next year with a device that's really spending their time on augmented reality and not virtual reality. But so they're going to kind of have the glasses that you can see through, and you can have stuff that comes on up and different items that are available. And then, of course, now Sony is coming out with their VR solution. So we're going to see how that plays in the space also.
Yeah, for the first time, I got an email from Facebook.
Oh, did you?
Well, Meta.
Or what did Meta tell you?
They want me to set up a Meta Quest account.
A MetaQuest account for your
for my online virtual life.
For your online virtual. Do you have a virtual headset?
No.
So, but they're just still trying to get you to still sign up for your life, huh?
Yeah, they want me.
They want to sell you one.
Maybe.
If you need to rent one, you can just borrow mine because I only use it like.
You probably
once a
have
year.
like 18 of them.
No, I only have one of them.
Okay.
Those are Xbox.
I have an Oculus Quest, but they stopped supporting that. So
They did. All right. Then we also, of course, we have what happened to the idea that Elon Musk had to plug brain chips into our head. Well, essentially, the company is called Neuralink.
Guess what?
And they are having a release date on Halloween. What is this? So Elon Musk, we're going to talk about this. So they're going to come. So we're going to put chips. You ever watch the Matrix series, right? Did you watch Matrix 1?
Yeah.
Matrix. So you know how they had like those computers that plugged into people's brains?
Yeah.
This is literally Neuralink company.
I know,
the same
we've
thing.
talked about Neuralink on the show a couple of times.
It is. So they're making a big announcement on Halloween.
Okay.
That sounds a great day. That sounds like a great day.
Let's see what happens.
All right, and then we're going to take a look back at Windows 95 release because it's this week in technology. We're going to go back and take a look at it. We got some stories to share from the actual release that I can tell you about, and I won't get in too much trouble. And then we have Nick Espinosa joining us. Social media apps, are they out to get us, or are they a part of our ecosystem now that we have to have a part of? I'm going to ask you a question for Mike's mesmerizing moment, and then we're going to have Nick explain all the social media apps, security risks, breach risks, and different aspects that we have for our show today. And then, of course, we have our This Week in Technology, Nathan Nugget, and our Pick of the Day whiskey tasting. But now it's time to start the show.
Did you just knock on wood?
I just put my papers down.
No, you were like, knock, knock.
Well, I got to be careful if we're going to be talking about social media apps. I want to make sure all of our streaming services still work. Okay. Yeah. It's time to start our show with our Technology Fail of the Week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. Mike and Odie, here's your TFW, our Technology Fail of the Week. Let's see if you go WTF to our TFW. This week's fail comes from the CLOP ransomware group, CLOP ransomware group. Hackers attacked the UK water supply, but extorted the wrong company. So let's talk about this. If I'm going to be a hacking group, if I'm going to extort a company, let's say I sent my email to Walmart and I hacked Amazon and I decided to send it to Walmart, how much traction do you think it's going to get with a threat to say that I have your information when I'm sending all the information incorrectly?
Well, I don't know, maybe a finger?
That's kind of what happened. So the UK attackers attacked a water supply to extort the wrong company. They would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for the middling kids. So
middling or meddling?
Meddling kids. There you go. Sorry, that was supposed to be a Scooby-Doo reference.
Yeah, it didn't come off.
All right.
Well.
All right. The hackers informed Thames Water of its network security inadequacy.
Thames.
Is it Thames?
Thames. It's named after the Thames River.
Are you sure it's not Thames?
It's Thames. And it's not Thames either.
Are you sure it's not Thames?
It's not Thames. It's Thames.
It's Thames. Okay, we'll have to do we'll call it Thames Water Networks security inadequacies. They claim that they acted responsible by not encrypting their data and essentially said 5 terabytes of data compromised their systems. Well, the Thames. Okay, the Thames. Is that like the Thames Cascade potato chips? Thames. Okay, Thames Water officially disputed
potato chips,
these claims via a statement saying the report of CLOP having the breach of its networks was a hoax. The operations are at full capacity. Now, the CLOP breach company essentially went back and corrected their error and now lists the South Staffordshire Water as the possible victim of their exhortation site. Okay. So note to hackers. Here's what we got.
Hey, if you're going to hack somebody...
If you're going to extort someone, Tactics 101. If you're going to extort a company, make sure you have the correct company name and information when you send the email to them. Otherwise, they're probably not going to pay it.
Yeah, they should call their own customer service.
They should. Make sure that they call Tim's or Times.
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, that was our Elderberry Boost TFW. So let me ask you, Odie, if you got a ransomware group email that came to you and said that instead of Odie, let's say they said, Rachel, we wanted you to pay a security payment, and they had your wrong name, wrong information, would you consider it a credible source?
No.
What would you do with it?
Ignore it.
And just delete it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if they had my name, I'd be like, why are you going after a broke college kid? Like, what?
What are you doing? Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
And that's why they're called Clop.
Yeah.
That's why they're called Clop?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just sounds like glop or
Like a glop?
clop.
Or plop?
Plop.
Maybe a plop or something. All right. Well, we're gonna. You know what? We'll have to ask Nick what he thinks about extorting a company with your incorrect information.
Extorting the wrong company.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
even hackers make mistakes.
Yeah, but that's a pretty big mistake.
You spend all your time hacking into a company. You should probably know what you have.
Yeah, that's the marketing firm, marketing company.
So what happened is the hackers
section.
were all done, and they've turned it over to their.
They turned it over to the
sales-
marketing,
their sales
group, and
and the
they
sales group
botched
said,
it.
"Oh crap." They even sent pictures of incorrect email addresses,
That's
saying that
awesome.
we have compromised. Here's your email addresses, and the company.
I don't know.
went back, says-
Should we give them a little grace there and say, well, they're just starting up? Or
Well, I haven't heard of them before, so maybe
Okay.
they're new. Maybe it's a little bit of the degenerates from the other major hacking groups all working together.
It seems like they would have more experience in extorting the right company.
There we go. All right. Well, we also have our whiskey tasting. So we're going to have our whiskey pick of the day. We'll see if it gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up by the end of the show. You want to make sure you listen all the way through to pick up some interesting facts on Marc's Mumbles that will make you go, Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, as I led off with, what is Elon Musk up to this week? Well, Elon told staffers at his brain chip company Neuralink he's frustrated with their slow progress. For current and former Neuralink employees told Reuters that Musk had expressed frustration to staff over slow progress. Musk recently approached the CEO of a rival firm, Synchron, about a potential deal. So essentially, his company that he owns, Neuralink, is too slow. So he decides to go on out and go to Synchron, which is the competitor, and ask them if they're interested in a potential deal. Now, the reason is because Synchron actually has tests that are happening on humans right now, and Neuralink hasn't got the approval to do any human testing. So that's kind of a big thing. If you're going to put a chip in somebody's head, you probably want to be the first to market to get the human testing to be allowed. Right?
Yeah, sure.
But what type of humans do you think sign up for this?
Nerds like you.
I don't know if I don't know what type of a human would do that. But okay. So essentially, Musk was all upset with them last week. At the end of last week, he came on out, said that this company is doing horrible. Then the following day, he decided to send out on Twitter that Neuralink is going to have a meeting that will happen on October 31st that will talk about the progress and update it in a show and tell place without talking into any of the Neuralink's CEO or staff. So he got mad.
So he pitched a fit because they aren't as where he wants them to be. He called a rival company and said, "Hey, my company sucks, and I may want to do some business with you." And then he goes back and tells his company, "Oh, on the 31st, we're gonna do this thing."
Yeah, he did an old open up a can of whoop ass and say, "I'm going to get you to work" type of deal.
Yeah, I feel like there's some Iron Man 2 stuff going on. You know, when they show all the little test of the guy,
the Iron Man suits.
Yeah, the other guy's Iron Man suits going wrong,
and they're all going wrong type of deal. So you think that's what's going on? Well,
I feel like that would be
only Elon Musk can say that his company that he's investing all this money in is slow. Say we're going to have a meeting and you guys are going to make a show and tell event.
I guess he could offer to buy the other place, but he's got all his money tied up in this whole Twitter thing, so I don't know.
That's going to be interesting. All right, I think you got story number 2, don't you, Mike?
No, I'm kidding. All right, so this is really cool. All right, do you have that sound? Listen to this. Do you know what that is?
Sounds like my stomach. Oh, when I haven't eaten for a while. But no, what is that sound?
If your stomach is a super giant black hole, then, well, it could be, huh?
It could be.
That is the sound of a black hole in a distant galaxy.
Wow, okay.
It's 250 million light years from Earth.
Okay.
Now, we all think, and we all have been told this, there's no such thing as sound in space, right? Because the majority of space is a vacuum and sound waves can't travel through a vacuum. But when you have this galaxy out there, you have all these dust particles and things clogging up the space so sound waves can travel through them.
Okay.
And that is what that is. So this was first identified in 2003 in data gathered from NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory.
Okay.
Right? They took all the information from this, and it took them a while to extract all the information so that they could recreate this sound.
Okay.
And as it turns out, the sound waves that in their natural environment there is a whopping 57 octaves below middle C, which means this is a really, really deep baritone
sound
that nobody can hear.
Okay.
So in order to produce this sound digitally, they've had to raise the frequency quadrillions of time.
Okay.
A quadrillion is a million billions.
Okay.
Okay. So that, and it sounds creepy.
It does sound creepy.
It
So that is
sounds
the
really
sound of
creepy.
a black hole.
That is the sound of a black hole.
Yeah. And
Or
essentially
your stomach.
Or essentially in like Space Odyssey or any of these other sci-fi movies, when they have that big black hole making that noise, I guess they get nailed
Sure.
right on the
There you
the
go.
button, huh?
There you go. So that is the sound, and of course this is digitally amplified and mixed with other data in order to create what that actually sounds like. So nobody went out with a microphone to this galaxy and held it up to this.
Are you
black
sure
hole.
though?
I'm pretty sure.
You know what? They could have had Vulcans out there. They could have been
Okay.
actually from
Yeah,
the Vulcan laboratories.
Boy, did I walk into that one.
in some Star Trek universe where they actually already had this in a database.
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Right. Okay. Here we go. Story number 3.
Okay.
Congress is looking into Twitter whistleblowers' claims that the security of Twitter's underlying infrastructure is lacking, and essentially that Twitter
you mean spam accounts.
Yes, and Twitter has been lying to Elon Musk about spam accounts. Essentially, this is just amazing. Essentially, they're just going to court here coming up next month, and now the Senate and congressional committee leaders from both sides of the aisles are looking into claims from Twitter's former security chief that the platform has extreme deficiencies in terms of protection against hackers. You know what? We're going to ask a little bit about that with Nick today. So we're going to talk about it.
I feel like Congress and the Senate are spending way too much time talking about social media.
And technology?
And not running the company? Not enough about anything else.
That's the only thing that they're understanding their grasps to nowadays. All right, so if the claims are accurate, which it could be, they can show some dangerous data and privacy security risk for Twitter users around the world. Essentially, this may play a key role, which is probably why it got leaked or came out, into the opportunity for Elon Musk, who is trying to get out of the buying of the company. The two sides are set to still go trial in October. So we'll see what happens. Story number 4. Sony says the PlayStation VR2 is coming in early 2023. Sony's PlayStation VR2 headset is coming in early 2023, according to posts the company made on Twitter and Instagram. Sony has been trickling information out about the upcoming headset over the past several months, and now we have a hard timeline of when they can expect to get our hands on the hardware. Of course, not really.
Sure, because we're just see Elon telling people that this is going to happen no matter what, and then he's yelling at them for not being able to do it.
Well, this is so Sony's going to come out with their 4K set, VR2, and it's essentially can hook into the computer, so it's not proprietary to the Sony station. You can actually hook it into a computer and have it work, or in case you can plug it into the PlayStation 5. Now, they're going to have limited releases that will have the ability to connect with a single USB-C cable to charge this and to connect this. So really, this is going to become the eBay's market once this headset gets released for, of course, the first 2 years, because no one will be able to get supplies of it. But then after that, I guess it'll be commonly available for everybody in 2025.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yay.
Any new technology? I mean, people still are now just getting the PlayStation 5. It's been out on the market for 2+ years, and finally inventory is coming on up so people can get it. But Sony makes this announcement that they're going to have 20 major games available for this headset upon release.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's going to play it?
There's going to be so many headsets. There's going to be a plethora of headsets out there. You know what plethora means, right?
I do. Do you?
Well, of course I do.
Okay.
I watched The Three Amigos, so of course I know.
Oh,
what
okay.
plethora. You have a plethora of pinatas of your course. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
So essentially,
I'm glad you You learn vocabulary through comedy movies from the 80s.
That's the best type to learn from. Okay. All right. Well, all right. Up next, we have our segment Ask the Expert with Nick Espinosa, a regular contributor to the radio show. Today, we're going to be talking to Nick about social media applications. Are social media apps out there to get you or to help you? We'll be back in a moment after we take this break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Did you know for every $1 spent on email marketing, you receive $36 in return? That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's all so complicated. All those advanced tools and features, you don't know how to approach them at all.
What if there was an email marketing platform where you don't have to rack your brains to get started? A tool that's not overloaded with unnecessary features you don't want to pay for, and, believe it or not, has a support team available 24/7, even on the free plan.
There is a solution, Mike. Let me introduce you to Sellzy, a tool that makes email marketing as easy as 1, 2, 3. With Sellzy, you can launch your first campaign in 15 minutes. No coding required. A very easy to use, intuitive email builder with over 300,000 gifts and stickers to choose from and 500,000 plus free stock images, a customizable countdown timer, and more. Create emails for any business goal, from e-commerce to nonprofits. Easily create automated email sequences for your business.
Get 24/7 support via chat, email, and phone, even on the free plan. Sellzy has just launched a special deal. You can now get a lifetime access to all Sellzy features for just $49. All the core features, unlimited emails, automation, segmentation, advanced analytics for the price of 10 lattes.
Sellzy is the easiest way to start selling with emails. Try it now. Click the link in this episode description on TechTime Radio to get that special deal.
No commissions or hidden fees.
To learn more information, visit them at the simple and easy site to remember. Just go and visit Sellzy.com. That's SELZY.com. The easiest way to send emails.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Day. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break, and now let me tell you all about what we're sipping in our pick of the day. During the show today, we have chosen the Barrel Hitch American Whiskey, $22.99 a bottle if you can find it. It's out of print now, so it's kind of a rarity that came on out. It's 80 proof. Now, Barrel Hitch American Whiskey was released in Portland, Oregon, based Eastside Distilling in 2015. It was created by two women who sought to realize their passion for spirits. Master Distillery Mel Helm and Chief Brand Officer Carrie Earls. Is that what it said? Earls?
Airless?
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 Airls?
I don't know.
It's blended from whiskey sources selected for their contributing flavor profiles. What's more tempting on the tongue than brown sugar and vanilla? Buttery oak and a silky body. Bottled at 80 proof, Barrel Hitch hits the mark with a smooth body of unique notes of toasted oak, green apple, and vanilla. The happy results in the blending process. What'd you think of it?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty smooth. What did Odie say? What did you say about it?
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. That's what she said.
They
know what they're doing. So this is I don't know if I'm going to give it a thumbs up yet or not, but I can guarantee you by the second commercial break, there'll probably be none left.
Okay.
All right. Well, make sure you stay all the way to the show to see if we give it a thumbs up or thumbs down and listen to the Marc's Mumbles.
Sure.
Now that we got our whiskey out of the way, we have our technology expert ready to join the show. Nick joins us. He's an expert in cybersecurity and network infrastructure. Nick Espinosa has consulted with clients ranging from small business to the Fortune 100 levels. In 1998, at age 19, Nick founded Windy City Networks, later acquired in 2015. He then created Security Fanatics, where he is the chief security fanatic. We welcome Nick to our video stream to start our next segment. Let's get ready to roll.
Welcome to the segment we call Ask the Experts, with our Tech Time Radio expert, Nick Espinosa.
All right, Nick, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, guys.
All right, so we have a lot of our favorite things. We got whiskey, We got technology, and we got Nick Espinosa back on the show.
Mm-hmm.
All the fans that are complaining that I didn't have him on for 3 weeks, here you go. He's back on. Nick is here. Nick, I get letters about you when you're not on the show. They say, hey, we need to have some more Nick Espinosa. So glad you could join us today.
And thank you for paying the bill. So here I am.
There you go.
I have to say about Elon Musk though.
Yeah.
I've always heard that if you insult Beyonce on Twitter, you are in for it. I just went through that by interviewing somebody that is probably Elon Musk's worst nightmare. And I took a week of being called the dumbest person on the internet just for having an interview with this guy that basically claims that the driverless car that Elon Musk is putting together is seriously flawed. Now, I'm not an expert in driverless cars, but it was a mess. I just took so much crap for a week just for talking to this guy. It was pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Social media at its finest.
Yeah, that's what happens
really
when Amazon. Let me just tell you, I can't sell anything on Amazon anymore as an associate. Because every single time I
did you
rip
get
them,
busted?
Yeah, they keep on ripping me down, saying, "Hey, you guys need to not talk about our stuff on the." Okay, well, whatever.
Well, social media is where civility goes to die, and I just got a lesson in that.
So this is going to be really a
I
great.
thought that was the gaming platform that's happening.
You know what? I can't wait for this because let me just tell you, at our show we use Twitter, Twitch TV, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit. And by the time we're done with this episode and Nick Espinosa coming in and talking about all the security flaws, we are essentially will be broadcasting from our own downstairs studio on community television because they're going to ban us from probably everything that we're going to talk about. So that's okay.
Sure.
We're just putting it out there right now. Let's you know what? Let's start with the big heavy hitters here. So tell us a little bit about social media apps. Give us kind of an update for the everyday common listener. What social media apps are, privacy and securities for applications, and a recommendation of a platform that you find secure, specifically with texting. I text, right? So what do you use to text? Some people use their phones. Let's start off there.
Yeah. First things first, if we're going to start with texting and not social media, because I think those are two different things, hands down right now, I think it's important to understand that the built-in text message app that just comes with your iPhone or your Android is not private at all. So when you're sending and receiving a text message, just using the standard text messaging, your texts are actually captured and seen by your cellular carrier. Now, so for example, if you remember like a few years back, there was a super popular podcast known as Serial that actually featured a case against a guy, his name is Adnan Syed or something like that. He was convicted of killing his girlfriend in high school, and the prosecution used his text messages, his call records, and the cell phone tower location to try and make the case of why he was guilty. And that was 1999. So we've known about this for quite some time. So in terms of like a privacy-focused messaging app, I use Signal. I love Signal. I'm a big fan of Signal. It is designed to be end-to-end encrypted. So if you're on Signal, for example, and I'm on Signal,
Signal.
Nothing can. Yeah. Great. So if I message you to your phone number and you message me to my phone number and we're both using Signal, basically it's encrypted on the phone, it's sent encrypted across the internet, and it's received on your phone as well. But if you don't have Signal and you're texting me, I can still use Signal as a texting app. And so by default, it is what I go to, and it is super, super private. It's a nonprofit. It's known good security for texting.
All right. So that should be everybody 101. If you have a texting app on your phone, or if you just are texting in your standard Android phone or your standard iPhone, go download Signal. Load it as your default texting app. It actually doesn't change much. You can drag and drop the icon where you currently have your texting icon now, and you can still have the same phone numbers. You can send the same information. If they don't have Signal on their end, they'll still receive your text messages that you send, but then you have encryption. All right, so that's number one. Now let's get into social media. All right, first thing up, let's talk about Twitter. Let's go right with there. Twitter's first. Now, you use Twitter, so you must think that it is secure and it's reliable and it must be all that it's great Elon Musk is looking to get, right? So
sure, that's why I store all my naked pictures in Twitter.
Okay.
I mean, that's, all right. No, so Twitter is a hot mess with security. And as you mentioned today, and then my daily video today was literally on this, a whistleblower came forward. The guy's name is Peter Zatko. He goes by Mudge, which quite frankly is a pretty cool nickname.
Yeah.
He was the head of their security, Twitter security. He reported directly to Jack Dorsey, the CEO, and then the guy who replaced him, I cannot remember that guy's name off the top of my head. And my video was entitled today, Twitter is a U.S. national security threat. So I am prepared to be banned or shadow banned or never get that blue check mark to save my life. Now, some of the things that we actually found really interesting as I was just diving through this, piecing this through for my own stuff, is some of the allegations that he has leveled are just absolutely like from a cybersecurity 101 course. It's unbelievable how bad it is, assuming what he is alleging is actually true. So some of the points that he made were half of their employees, and we are talking about thousands of people, had access to critical controls that actually ran Twitter. Twitter executives basically, he claimed, didn't have the resources to fully understand the true number of bots on the platform, and they actually weren't motivated to do that, which is why Elon Musk coming in and now saying, well, we're going to subpoena this dude because he has information that we need about how we're trying to back out of this $44 billion deal due to all the bots. This is going to be really telling to the point that you made earlier. Now, on top of that, some of their senior most executives had been trying to cover up serious vulnerabilities because one or more of the current employees might have been actually working for a foreign intelligence service. Now, we actually got wind of that a while ago before the whistleblower, when we found out that somebody that apparently was working for Saudi intelligence appeared to be working for Twitter. I believe it was Saudi intelligence. This was like a year ago or so. On top of that, no logging into which employee in the environment did what. Meaning you've got 50 people logging in and making a change, and you have no idea which the 50 did that. Not to mention they've had past data breaches. We saw crypto scams coming from Bill Gates's Twitter account. Hey, follow me for Twitter, for crypto advice. And it was some guy that broke in. And think about it this way, from the national security threat, could you imagine if a Twitter employee decided when Donald Trump was still president to basically tweet as him, because he was using Twitter 80 times a day, to say something like, I've ordered my generals to nuke China tomorrow. Everybody get ready. These are the things that we are talking about. I mean, some disgruntled random employee could have started World War III. And it's absolutely insane how wide open on the back they are if all of these allegations are true. And given the past breaches, it's looking pretty accurate right now. We'll see.
All right. So let me ask you, after we go through each of these apps, are you going to you use Twitter right now, even with the security breaches that are there? Are you going to continue to use Twitter?
Oh, yeah, of course. But
Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's what people don't understand. Understand the old adage of, if it's free to you, you're the product. Meaning whatever you feed the beast, they're going to take, they're going to sell, they're going to use in some way, shape, or form. You cannot expect privacy. So if you are tweeting out something publicly, even if your account is closed only to your followers, all of the Twitter employees can still see it. They can all data mine it. If you're DMing back and forth with somebody, let's say former President Trump was DMing a senator, not nuclear codes or something, God forbid, but every Twitter employee, or at least half of them, could see things like that. So understand that when I'm putting stuff out into the social media, I'm not talking about personal things. I'm not talking about things I consider private. For me, it's purely, hey, I'm Nick Espinosa, cybersecurity, cyber warfare. Come follow me. Let's talk about these things. And that's it. And then
All
still
right.
gets me in trouble when I talk about Elon Musk. But yes, I will still use it.
All right. Next thing we're going to go to, after Twitter, we're going to move to streaming video. Let's talk about YouTube and Twitch.tv. We do a lot of our streams are streaming there right now. I really enjoy YouTube. I've had the least issues with YouTube on any of our violations or anything that we would have if we talk about anything. Twitch.tv has been really easy to use also. They don't really regulate or censor too much stuff. I mean, they got crazy girls in pools and bikinis playing video games on there, all the way down to people doing cribbage type of stuff. So, I mean, it's a plethora of different...
Boy, you're just going to use that word all over the place. Huh?
It's a plethora of different items that are there. So tell us, what do you think about security and our risks on Twitch.tv and YouTube?
So, it's interesting, too, because Twitch just had a massive data breach that dumped out to the world just how much people were actually making money on the platform. So you're talking about that, let's say, woman in her swimsuit making money, there were people making millions of dollars about that. I remember we actually talked about that on the air, and sadly, Nathan, you or I are seriously not making that fat Twitter cash.
We're not
we're not in that top tier because apparently we're not playing video games live enough.
That's what it is.
I think it's really interesting, but what that breach actually tells us is that internally in Twitch, they keep a ton of information on their streamers and users. And it's not just accounts payable, as they're paying out for all of these things. They know what you're doing. They know how much time you're spending on the app. They have intimate details, as Amazon is also, if you didn't know, one of the largest data miners in the world. So in terms of that, I mean, that's obviously a huge issue. Again, if it's free to you, you're the product on there, unless you are actually creating content and getting paid for it, unlike the 27 cents a month I probably make. So with that, we can talk about YouTube. And quite frankly, YouTube is a Google product. So honestly, they probably know what type of oil you put in your car 40 years ago and have everything since, and so understand that while YouTube, as far as I can tell, hasn't had any kind of massive data breach, Google themselves had back in the mid 2000s. Obviously, they've stepped up their game in terms of security, but Google being one of the largest, if not arguably the largest data miner on the platform, YouTube is in that ecosystem because you're talking about billions and billions and billions of hours of content being uploaded. I upload there almost every single day, not to mention tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people daily. And so they know everything about me. When I go onto the back end, as I'm sure you do, into the analytics side, of what you create, they can tell you specifically, in this
how
video,
long somebody watched the video, where it was, and what range it was. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that video 2 years ago, like second 34 to 48 was what was the most watched thing. It's
Correct.
Unbelievable. So understand they've got a ton of it. Even if you're just browsing, they know who you are, they know what you're browsing, which is why they can recommend so effectively, not just what you subscribe to, but what they think you want to subscribe to increase their revenue.
All right, let's move to TikTok next. Now I'm going to skip. We're going to have a different talk regarding Facebook and Instagram.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to try to say
they're the Mac Daddy.
Okay.
Facebook's the Mac Daddy of data breaches and data mining.
They're the worst. I don't
even their AI doesn't like them. So,
Lord,
we could spend 2 shows just on their stuff. So let's go to TikTok. All right, TikTok. Now I heard a rumor that it might not be very safe to use TikTok. Can you explain that?
Oh my God, absolutely. So I did a video called Delete TikTok Now like 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago or so, and I got thousands of views and a lot of love for that one. But first, before we start on the many, many, many TikTok woes, can I just say that TikTok proves that Milli Vanilli was seriously way ahead of their time?
They were. They're all lip sync. Everybody lip syncs on there. Everybody does it, and now they're making money lip syncing rapper music.
You just can't do it on SNL and have a career that survives.
30 years ahead of their time. Milli Vanilli, 30 years ahead of their time.
There you go.
But I'm just saying TikTok is a huge, huge problem. They are pure awful. They were a couple of years ago reverse engineered by a cybersecurity researcher that found this app was, if it was on your home Wi-Fi, for example, scanning every device in your Wi-Fi. We learned from a whistleblower that Chinese employees have access to the back end of U.S. user data, even though their executives went in front of Congress and said they didn't. We recently learned that several of their employees either past worked for Chinese state media or still, according to LinkedIn and other sources, work for both TikTok and the Chinese state government media, and on and on and on. But the most recent one we heard is that they can steal your credit card information, they can steal your passwords and all of that. And here's what's going on with that. So when you go, let's say in TikTok, and you see something, you're like, oh, I want to buy this, and you tap on it, it doesn't launch a browser like Chrome on your phone or your iPhone or your Android. It keeps you in TikTok and uses their integrated browser. So what they have there is actually a plugin that understands what you're typing. So if you go and say, hey, I'm going to buy that stupid thing I saw that stupid person dancing to, and you go ahead and you create a username and password, they can see you typing in that email address. They can capture you typing in that password. They can capture you typing in that credit card. And this was recently discovered by a cybersecurity researcher that was published in the last, I want to say, week or two.
Yep.
But TikTok obviously denies this. They say, yes, we actually do have this capability in our in-app browser, but we're not doing it. That's not what we're doing. We're doing this for improvement performance or whatever. So,
that's right.
So feel free to believe them after all the plethora of falsehoods that we've seen over the years.
How perspicacious of you.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. Last thing we're going to talk about, because we are always late for time. We just need to do like 3-hour show, and then it could be perfect. All right, last thing, Reddit. So we are now having a Reddit forum, and Reddit is kind of like a bulletin board service, right? Back in the day,
that's an old style
type of deal. So have you had any concerns with Reddit breaches, anything to that extent that we should know about?
So about 4 years ago or so, Reddit did have a massive data breach. The attackers got in and they accessed an old database that included usernames and some basic hashed passwords, meaning pretty easily crackable passwords. Reddit has since stepped up the game, but like anything, Reddit is free to use, and so they're going to see everything that you do. You've got private boards, you're messaging people, whatever that is, they can be seen. But overall, as long as you understand the old adage of if it's free to you, you're the product, when it comes to social media, to old style bulletin board services, whatever it is, then understand that whatever you're putting out there, it's not just you, it's everybody. So like when I'm talking with students, I always say, before you send that picture to your classmate, before you text it or message it or whatever, understand that what would happen, or what would you like the entire school to actually see what you're doing? Meaning that risque picture, do you want your parents, your teachers, every classmate to see that? Maybe you shouldn't send it. And I use that when I'm talking about Reddit or Facebook or any of them, where I'm saying, hey, if you think this is questionable, understand it's not just you or you and your friends. It's you, your friends, and whoever owns Reddit, or Mark Zuckerberg and 80,000 employees, or whatever the platform is, or the Chinese government if it's TikTok. So understand that these are things that we really have to take into consideration. We need to start building this filter. But in terms of Reddit, I mean, they're in the same boat with everything else. I just expect everything that I do to be analyzed by them, captured by them, and that's essentially what we're talking about.
So that's kind of the note here. Everybody, if you're going to be using a free service, you're out there, you need to understand what you're posting, what you put out there. Nothing is private. If you're using a free email client, you're using Yahoo, you're using Google's free email, you're using Hotmail free email account, or Outlook, whatever they call it now.
Unless they specifically claim privacy first, meaning Signal is free, but Signal is a nonprofit. Proton Mail is free, but we know it's good encryption because they have a paid wing that you can go and buy more from them. Right, to basically balance that. But the Gmails of the world, the Facebooks of the world, they are all not private.
They're not. And if you have TikTok on your machine or your phone and you're going to do a credit card purchase, best of luck to you. China will know how to get a hold of you.
Don't.
All right, there you go.
You have TikTok on your phone still?
I have a TikTok on one of my phones. Yes, I love TikTok.
I posted my first TikTok video. I don't have TikTok, but I think you.
We did. We have posted. Our TikTok. We got interns doing them.
I know.
We're doing very well. So if you go to TikTok and look for TechTime Radio, you can see everything you need to know. All right, I think we have 5,000 followers. Okay, well that's pretty big for a small technology show. We're not like
but how many videos do you have?
I think we got
4.
like 10. We got like 10 now.
Okay, we got.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Nick, how can we get in touch with you?
Yeah. I mean, feel free to connect to me like on LinkedIn / Nick Espinosa, or follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Nick AESP. You'll see my mugshot there. Come hang out. Come find me. Always happy to have followers and interact.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick.
Take care, Nick.
All right. That ends our segment, Ask the Expert. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now is a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side. We'll see you after this break.
Hey, Mike,
What?
have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. StoriCoffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at StoriCoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at StoriCoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going back to August 24th, 1995.
1995.
Windows 95 was released, kicking off the largest product launch in technology history. Microsoft releases the highly anticipated Windows 95. More than 1 million copies will be sold in the first 4 days of its release. Accompanied by the extensive marketing campaign, Windows 95 introduced numerous functions that we feature in our standard interface today, such as the taskbar, notification area, and the start button.
The start button.
Windows 95 merged Microsoft's formerly separate MS-DOS and Microsoft Windows products and featured a significant improvement over the predecessor, most notably in the graphic user interface, and it's simply called the plug-and-play features. Now, I have a little story here. So I have some Windows 95 stuff here. I actually have, here you go, here to show the cameras. That's a Windows 95 floppy disk and CD. And here's a Windows 95 upgrade CDs. Essentially what these were for, you got to remember, back in the day when we had DOS and Windows, everything was on this thing called floppy disks, right? So here is literally my interface right here. This is DOS 6.2 and Windows 3.1. Yeah, and Windows 3.1. Essentially, all of our operating system was this. This was the first time an operating system was released on either 12 disks that you could get to load it or a CD, and they had a bootable disk that you could put into the drive that would boot up and replicate an operating system.
Yeah, I remember the good old days where you had to have a boot up disk.
You had to have a boot up disk that would boot up to your deal. Now, I have a laptop that doesn't even have a CD-ROM drive. Do you have a laptop that doesn't have a CD-ROM drive?
Yeah, most ones don't.
Yeah, like
have
a new Alienware or
no.
something like that. They don't even have CD-ROM drives, let alone a floppy drive would be something that would just be out of this world to have.
My old XPS has a CD-ROM.
Does it?
Yep, and that's from 2012.
So I was working at Microsoft and building one at the time when Windows 95 released. And let me just tell you, it was the biggest party I had ever seen, still today in my life, that I've ever been at. It literally, Microsoft One Redmond Way, the street, essentially had kegs on the corners as you would go down here, as they had the field.
That's a block party, buddy.
So there was kegs that you could self-pump. There was an open soccer field that you could play all your sports in. And it was unbelievably the biggest bash ever. Jay Leno came on in. Helicopters were flying around. It was the biggest 3-day party I've ever been a part of.
All right.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, that was This Week in Technology.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to see some Tech Time history? Well, all you got to do is visit us at techtime.com, techtimeradio.com to find out more information regarding the show. We're going to get to a commercial break. When we return, we may have a quick segment of letters, or we may have to skip it, but it's a fan-based segment, so we'll see you after this break.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Did you know for every $1 spent on email marketing, you receive $36 in return? That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's all so complicated. All those advanced tools and features, you don't know how to approach them at all.
What if there was an email marketing platform where you don't have to rack your brains to get started? A tool that's not overloaded with unnecessary features you don't want to pay for, and, believe it or not, has a support team available 24/7, even on the free plan.
There is a solution, Mike. Let me introduce you to Sellzy, a tool that makes email marketing as easy as 1, 2, 3. With Sellsy, you can launch your first campaign in 15 minutes. No coding required. A very easy to use, intuitive email builder with over 300,000 gifts and stickers to choose from, and 500,000 plus free stock images, a customizable countdown timer, and more. Create emails for any business goal, from e-commerce to nonprofits. Easily create automated email sequences for your business.
Get 24/7 support via chat, email, and phone, even on the free plan. Sellsy has just launched a special deal. You can now get a lifetime access to all Sellsy features for just $49. All the core features, unlimited emails, automation, segmentation, advanced analytics for the price of 10 lattes.
Sellsy is the easiest way to start selling with emails. Try it now. Click the link in this episode description on TechTime Radio to get that special deal.
No commissions or hidden fees.
To learn more information, visit them at the simple and easy site to remember. Just go and visit Sellsy.com. That's SELZY.com. The easiest way to send emails.
And now for Marc's Mumbles.
All right, we have the Barrel Hitch American whiskey. Now, Marc says Eastside Distilling out of the Portland, Oregon area is known in the whiskey circles mostly for its sourced Burnside bourbon. This is a unique offering that's not produced anymore, but if you can still find it on a few shelves, you should grab it. This is a balance of low-end sipping whiskey and makes a solid cocktail and is truly original. It's one of Marc's first bottles that he ever got into regarding whiskey. So this is like one of his first historical whiskey tastings. Marc is glad that he has experienced this whiskey, though another bottle will not make it to his shelf anymore. Marc would give this a thumbs up. So his shelf now is matured and is tasting, I guess. I don't know why he wouldn't put this on the shelf, because I am clearly done with my thing.
It's no longer available.
So maybe that's why you can't get it on the shelf, huh?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, that was our Marc's Mumbles.
I'm just spitballing here.
Okay. Well, let's get ready now to go to our mesmerizing moment brought to us by StoriCoffee.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com.
All right, Mike, here's your question for you. Why do we want so badly to use social media apps?
Yeah, that's so funny because I don't know if we want to, but there's a lot of pressure to do it, right? So there's a lot of factors that are involved in social media.
Okay.
One is unconscious and conscious social pressure.
Okay.
All right. Everybody asks what social media platform are you using? Where can I connect with you? Okay, so it lures us in with connectivity.
Okay.
We can connect with people all over the world. Hey, I can connect to my family who lives in Georgia, or I can connect to somebody who lives in Australia. Okay, so there's that. There's also and so that drives part of it, that need for connection. We have this need for connection.
Okay.
And even if it's on a virtual format. There's also the voyeuristic side of us.
All right. That's kind of what TikTok was developed as.
Yes, we all want to look into anybody else's lives and see what they're doing. So this is where this thing called YOLO comes from.
Yeah.
You know, you only live once, and FOMO.
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out, right? So we have all these things that are working against us to do this. We're trying to keep up. And so we also know that social media has a lot of addictive qualities to it, right? So with the amounts of likes and dislikes and things like that, you get dopamine shots every time you get a like. So
now, do you use a social media platform?
I use them, but I don't spend my day on them.
You don't spend your day on them?
No.
Okay, so if I was trying to direct message you, what would be the best way to do that?
Just text me.
Okay.
Using Signal.
Using Signal, not through the standard text app.
I don't care. Just just text me.
Just text you. Okay.
But as far as social media goes, there's so many factors around why we need to use it because of the social infrastructure that connects us to this and creates the pressure to get on to these things. There's the economical piece too, right?
Yep.
Right. As a business, we have to be on these because this is one of the primary ways that we do
drive revenue, advertising.
We advertise. Now.
Yep.
So there's all kinds of different factors that creates an almost irresistible urge to be on these. things,
Oh,
even
thank
though
you.
they are not private, even though they are
Just make sure you know
feeding
that you're,
grounds
what
for
you're posting.
really negative emotional content.
All right. Well, you know what? Speaking of emotional content, I think we should move into content regarding our pick of the day.
Well, that was very good.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
Trust
See
me,
if you can
I
use
got
plethora again.
Oh, you just stole it from me. I was going to say I got a plethora of more information to give you. All right, so here we go. We got the Barrel Hitch American Whiskey, $22.99, 80 proof, out of Oregon. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up by Mike. Why did you give it a thumbs
I
up?
really like the flavor. It's smooth. It's tasty.
Okay. All right, we'll go to Odie next. Odie, what did you think?
I liked it. It was warm, smooth, fast, just like an overall good taste whiskey.
What are you talking about?
It was
Warm,
warm.
smooth, and
I thought
fast
it was-
over there.
I liked it.
She liked
Sir.
it. All right, well, the Barrel Hitch American Whiskey, I'm going to give it also a thumbs up. So that's our $22 bottle, pretty inexpensive bottle that you could have.
That
You
you
could old-fashioned.
really can't
you
get
can mix
anymore.
it. You can't get any more. If you can find it in Oregon, it's the Barrel Hitch American Whiskey. Now, just about ready to end our show. Remember, if you want to find out.
We'll have to talk about letters next
Well,
week, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have to do letters next week. So we have fan favorite letters. We will bring that back next week. Nick took us a little long. Of course, we always go a little long when he talks, but it's always great information. If you want to learn more about our show, you can always visit us at techtimeradio.com. You can watch our TikTok videos. We're not going to get off that platform. We'll still be there.
Yeah. What's the word of the day?
What's that?
What's the word of the
The
day?
word of the day? Plethora. We have a plethora of information to share with our listening audience.
Okay.
All right.
Do your thing.
Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.